So for those of you who don't know me, although many of you do, my name is Long Mi. I am part of the CSS Youth Virginia organizing team. And so today I'm just going to talk a little bit about this upcoming trip to Vietnam and kind of the reason why we're doing this fundraiser before we have our dinner. So I hope that you guys really enjoy this presentation. So this is actually our first time really introducing the CSS Youth to our members in Virginia, our CSS members in Virginia. I think it's really appropriate for us to say that CSS Youth has always been in existence ever since CSS itself was founded. The adults have always been very, very active, and I think that the CSS members' kids have also been really active. So I think that overall, the organization of this Compass Youth has been really, really good. However, in Virginia, we formally started a youth group in 2013 when Baek Young, who cannot be here with us today, but definitely our youth group would not be able to exist without him. He began teaching a meditation and Dharma class in 2013, and many of us met each other in that class. And since then, our youth group has only grown. So in 2015, my brother Austin and myself, we became certified in CK10, teaching integral Tai Chi. From there, we began teaching a family youth meditation in CK10 class, which has been going on all the way up until today. And so most of us have met friends in that class, we bonded through that class, and then from there, we kind of moved CSS Youth Virginia onto kind of a national stage. In 2016, in December, we have always been going to Fat Boy, which is in Long Beach, California. That is held every single year as a large world peace gathering. It's a time for the CSS organization globally to come together and pray for healing and health and peace throughout the world. So every single year, the children of CSS members usually come along and volunteer. And so we have a CSS Youth force that meets up every single year from California, from Texas, from Virginia, from all over the world. But we never actually formally established a CSS Youth group that studies under Taehyung, right, as part of the CSS organization. And so in 2016, at this World Peace Gathering in December, we held a small conference, and we had around 100 members there, 100 CSS Youth members there, and we established the CSS Youth formally. We have a charter, we have a mission statement, and from there we planned future events throughout the year. So basically coming out of that little retreat, out of that little conference, we have three main chapters for the CSS Youth. We have the Virginia chapter, we have Texas, and we have California. And since that founding, right, since that formal founding, we've had Virginia and Texas be the two most dominant, largest, most active groups kind of coming together to plan national events. So this is just a small picture of this room. This is our CSS Youth family meditation class. This is Austin's class that meets up on Sundays. So the structure for this class is a little bit different from the adults classes, because I know that maybe some of you guys started out as in adult classes. I certainly did, and I'm sure that some of the adults in the back also started out in also in adult classes. But our structure starts out as a 2-hour class, with the first hour being CK10 and exercise, bowing, meditation, and then we have 30 minutes of actual meditation. Sometimes we substitute that with a tea meditation of some kind. And then we have corpse, and then we have snacks. And then everyone kind of comes together and we have a small Dharma talk. Usually it's a story of some kind with a moral, or sometimes we talk a little bit about the history of CSS and the lineage of Buddhism that we come from. So that's just a little bit of background about us in Virginia. So at that conference in Long Beach, we established the CSS Youth, but we also have a mission statement. And I think this mission statement sets us apart from any other youth group there is. It sets us apart from Boy Scouts. It sets us apart from any other organization that just talks about doing good things. Because this focuses a lot on Buddhism and spirituality and helping to develop the minds of our youth. So the CSS Youth exists to provide opportunities for young people to discover and deepen their spirituality, to inspire others through altruistic service, and to build and support like-minded communities throughout the world. So through the teachings that we learned from Pai and Jun, and through the kind of service that we do here already, right? Every single month, our class goes out to Washington, D.C. and we feed the homeless. So the one part that we haven't really been able to do so far, we haven't had an opportunity to, is support like-minded communities throughout the world. And so this fundraiser that we're doing today is talking about a medical mission that some of our youth will be going back to Vietnam to do, and that is one of our first opportunities that we're going to have to build those kind of communities around the world, more on a global scale. So before I go a little bit further, I'd like to introduce members of our Virginia Youth team. These are members who helped organize local events. So we have a national group, a national planning team, and there are 3 kids from Virginia, 3 kids from Texas, but this is our local planning team. So I am also on this local planning team. Isabel Marakar is also on this planning team, but she's not here with us today. She's at William and Mary. We have Kang or Austin.
That's me.
We have Matthew.
Yeah.
And you can't even tell about Matthew without mentioning Matthew's dad.
Yay.
You have Angie Marakar. And you have Amelia Lynn. So all these youth really come together, and you don't really know the amount of time and effort that these youth put in, the kind of effort and planning that comes into a large event when you have to organize retreats for like 100 people or 80 people, 40 people. The amount of work that these youth put in is really phenomenal, and it really helps build their leadership skills too. So if you are in this group, or if you are not really in CSSE yet, and you want to be part of this team, just talk to me afterwards. We can definitely put that. Alright, so this is a picture of us. If you guys can't, if anyone can't see our face in the back, this is us. We kind of, we're not going to prom. This is basically, we want to have kind of a class photo. So every single year, we want to change out the leadership team, change out the planning team, so that our youth that are a little bit younger, because Amelia is 14, I'm 22, I turned 22 today. So 14 and 22 is a very big age difference, but we want to move and kind of shift the responsibility, give opportunity for the younger youth to the next generation, right, to fill the CSS youth gap. So this is kind of what we're going for. So every single year we're going to change out the people, and so we're going to take a picture every year. So Texas has their picture, we have ours. This is 2 views, better fits. Okay, so, all right. So we want to talk a little bit about who we are. We already talked about who we are. Now we want to talk a little bit about what we've done and what we plan to do. So the CSS Youth has already held 2 major national events. So since we were founded in 2016, literally 6 months later, we held a national event. A lot of us wanted to have a summer camp, and so we held a National Youth Leadership Conference, which was in July of this past year. That was held here in Virginia, with a lot of support from CSS Virginia parents. From this, we had around 80 youth from California, from Texas, from Virginia, from Maryland, from France, from Canada, flying all the way here just to attend this 1-week camp. And all of us made a lot of friends, we bonded, we had a lot of leadership activities, team building activities. We did meditation every morning. We talked a lot about CSS as an organization, what kind of direction we want to go in. And from here, right, we have our conference, and from that conference we have an initiative. So every single time the national group gets together, we have a goal that we want to fulfill for that coming year. And so our goal for this event was that we want to do meditation every day. There are a lot of different benefits to meditation. It helps improve concentration, for one, it helps increase calmness, especially in light of most recent events. That can definitely be something that needs to be pushed further in terms of mental health. But all of us together decided that we wanted to do meditation every day just as a group. It's hard to do things on your own, and so we decided to do online meditation. So every single night, Austin and I get onto a conference call with around 30 or 40 other youth who decide to call in. and then either Austin or I will lead the group in meditation. So we will mute everyone, and then we'll give a guided meditation for around 25 minutes. And then after that, we share a short Dharma talk or short story, and that's usually how we end the night. So our meditation starts at 9 o'clock, and it goes to maybe 9:30, 9:40. And this actually makes it so that the kids in Texas and the kids in California, with the time difference, can join us for the same call. So we've been doing that successfully every single day, with the exception of weekends, from July 2017 all the way to now. Right? So we've been able to do that really successfully. So good job, guys. So a couple pictures from our 2017 summer camp. We have a uniform, right? We have our logo on the back of these t-shirts. It says, "To love is to serve." So this is us doing meditation in the morning. This is us doing our team meditation. So we have a lot of certified team masters who are adults serve us tea. This is kind of just to introduce us to the culture. In the winter retreat, which I'll mention in a bit, we actually trained a lot of the youth to actually become team masters, certified team masters. So this is a couple of our youth kind of goofing around and having fun after the team meditation. This is also us after team meditation. There's a lot of us. This is me. At the summer camp, we also had a lot of fun things. We didn't just do cultivation and practices. We didn't just meditate and do CK10 all the time. We went on a tour in Washington, D.C. So, yeah, this is all of us in front of the White House. We also have pictures in front of the Capitol and the Washington Monument. For those of us who weren't from Virginia, who don't live very close to here, this is a really fun opportunity. This is Matthew.
Matthew!
This is Matthew. I don't know. I don't know. But that's Matthew and Joanna. This is Isabel. This is also Matthew. This is Tim. So we also, in addition to touring Washington, D.C., we also went to Burke Lake. We spent an afternoon in Burke Lake on the very first day of the camp, canoeing, kind of taking walks on some of the trails, having fun eating ice cream, that kind of thing. Just bonding activities for the first couple of days, for the first day or two. Towards the later part, after we had really bonded together to make it through some really tough experiences, we decided to go hiking in Skyline in Shenandoah. It rained a lot that day, but no problem, right? Out of this group, I think the youngest was 5 years old, and she went on this hike, and oldest is, me. And this is us after the hike.
This is still...
Yeah, so actually I forgot to mention, but at the summer camp we had around 50-50 with Virginia and in Texas. Some of the Texas kids were from Dallas, some from Houston, someone from I think Fort Worth, and then also we had 2 or 3 kids from Canada and France. So we also had recently only in the past couple months or so, we had a winter retreat, which is the National Youth Leadership Summit. That was held in Texas. So this time, Texas helped to host. We held it in Summersville, Texas. And that was a lot of fun. We had 40 youth or so. This time we had Pam Jun come directly, and he personally taught us about the Dharma. He gave us leadership talks, leadership skills, helped us lead team meditation. So at that retreat, like I mentioned before, we had a bunch of youth actually trained to become team masters and serve team meditation. We did meditation twice, maybe even 3 times a day. We had a lot of bonding activities as well, same as usual. And then based off of that, right, from that we springboarded and we have these 2 new initiatives where we were focusing, if you look at this is more feeding the homeless. The activities were feeding the homeless and doing things for the community. And then our goal was to do something more cultivation aspect, doing meditation. For this one, we did a lot of cultivation activities, and then our goals were to do things for the community. So one of the initiatives we came up with was hashtag CSSU 365, which is to bring to mind the fact that we should do a good deed every day. Each one of our youth tries to do a good deed once a day, and then the idea is that if you think about it and practice that for maybe 2 months, then that becomes a habit, and then you will do not just one good deed, but you do many good deeds every day, and that will help cultivate us to become good and caring, compassionate people. And then we also have another initiative called the hashtag CSS Youth Help. This one is a commitment to donate money every single month, either through our own pocket or by fundraisers like this one, or by doing chores. The CSS Youth as a whole would like to donate a couple $100s every single month to charity causes throughout the world, not just in Vietnam, but also in other parts of the world that need our help. So that's another initiative that I will touch on a little bit later too. So these are just pictures of the 50 or 40 of us or so in Texas doing CK10 in the morning, led by Austin. This is Tae Jun giving us a talk about kind of what it means to have a purpose in life, to have talents, to have passions, to have goals, and what you need to have to achieve that. Tae also taught us a little bit about the seeds level GA. For those of you who cultivate, he taught us a lot about the Dharma. Basically, this practice involves a mantra that a Buddhist practice where you appreciate and give thanks to others. And this is a video. This is a short video of just a little bit of our team meditation with the team masters that practice and serving the other youth.
Is it played like something?
Hmm?
Does this go or do I have to?
You have to click on the play.
Oh, yeah. Where's that? Would you like to help me? This is slideshow.
Okay. Anyways, you can go back for a second. We don't. It doesn't need to talk about it. So, so we had a total of around 40 or 50 youth, and out of the 40 or 50 youth, we had 10 team masters. We had 5 from Texas, or actually 12 team masters. 6 from Texas and 6 from Virginia, and they practiced very hard 2 or 3 times, 2 or 3 months in advance before the actual event. They were trained by certified team masters from the adult group in Virginia and Texas. There's a lot of, I wish I could show the video, but it's very, very specific and very detailed, the amount of work that they put in. Yeah, basically, it takes a lot of calm and meditation to be able to do that kind of thing, taking 2 breaths between each action. So we also had a lot of fun, besides the cultivation aspect. We had a lot of fun playing capture the flag, tag, a lot of outdoor activities, and it was nice because it was winter in Texas, so it wasn't too hot. Just us playing basketball. And this is Matthew. This is Matthew and Pekavie, who is from Texas. They have, actually, it's kind of the 3 of you guys, Matthew, Austin, and Pekavie. You guys have the biggest romance. This is the youth group from Virginia who went to Texas for that retreat, minus Amelia, Alvin, and Brian. Because you guys went home in a separate group, and we flew separately. But yeah, this is us just at the very end of the camp having fun, touring Austin. Yeah. So those are the past events that we had. We also have a couple of future events that are coming up. Most notably, we have this very coming week, so this coming Friday, we have a mini retreat for the Virginia youth that will be held in Meadowkirk at Delta Farm in Middleburg, Virginia, so not too far away. So that'll be a Friday to Sunday morning program, and that one will focus a lot on CK10 and learning the philosophy behind each of the movements. There's a lot of Dharma that is behind the actual exercise itself, and that is something that we're going to be practicing a lot and learning about in preparation for some of the youth to become CK10 instructor certified. So just to give you a reference of like how much we've grown, this is us in 2015. And then, if you guys next one, this is us in 2016. And this is in California, so most of us flew there. This is us at the summer camp at Berkeley, and this is us just this past winter. So definitely the group has grown, and we hope that a lot of you who may have children or may have grandchildren, nieces, nephews, you can definitely invite them to join our class and join the CSU. Join us for a lot of fun. So moving on to kind of the meat of the presentation in terms of why we're here. Going back to CSS Youth Help, we have, like I said before, we're committed to donating every month to various charity organizations in Vietnam and other countries. Since January, we've been able to make donations to 4 different individuals or families, and then we also made another donation to a soup kitchen, and then an orphanage. So the way that this works is we have, within our CSS Youth, we have parents who have relatives or parents who actually visit Vietnam fairly frequently, and then on our behalf, they will go and then they donate to certain causes that we've already done research on. So, for example, Tim's mom, Cô Ngọc, and Emily's mom, Cô Phương Thúy. The 2 of them are our main kind of connections right now in terms of donating. So in the last couple of weeks or so, Cô Phương Thúy went back to Vietnam and donated $900 on our behalf to certain various groups, which we'll see in a second. And of course, a lot of donors would like to see exactly where their money goes to, and so that's the reason why we take some of the pictures that we do. So this is one of the benefactors of our donation. This individual has polio, which if you live in any other part of the world that is not a third world country, this particular disease is eradicated. It's supposedly a dead disease, but in parts of the world that don't have the medicine or don't have vaccines for polio, this is something that is a very real problem and a very real disease that affects a lot of people. So this young boy has cerebral palsy, which is also a really debilitating disease. It's not something that we hear much about in the US or in Western countries, but it is also a really big problem that we hear about in third world countries very frequently. So again, right, kidney dialysis or kidney failure is when the kidneys don't filter out the blood correctly. And so if you're in the United States, sometimes you can go to a kidney dialysis center, right? Which basically has to do with filtering out the blood for you. You have a machine that filters out the blood for you. But also in Vietnam, in other Southeast Asian countries that don't have the medical care that they need or don't have the money to fund that kind of research, this is something that it makes life very, very difficult for you. So this is Cô Phương Thúy making a donation of $100 to an orphanage on behalf of CSS Youth. The reason why we decided to specifically give to countries not in the US or organizations not in the US is because $100 in the US doesn't really get you very far, but making a donation of $100 to an orphanage or to a soup kitchen in Vietnam ensures that you can feed maybe 100 people for that day. So that's the reason why we do that. And this particular girl actually has leukemia, which is cancer of the blood. One of our donors made a specific request that she wanted her $300 to go to one particular individual, not spreading her donation amongst many people, but she wanted to really help one person. And so, so this young girl received $300 of her donation for her medical treatment, as well as for anything that we can do to help kind of ease her pain and comfort her. Another $200 that we donated in the last month or so went to a soup kitchen. This is the receipt. This is one of the soup kitchens that we will be visiting later in June, specifically to go and serve. So I think that it's really, really wonderful that not only do we donate to these causes, but at some point, if we have the opportunity, we can go and physically see with our own eyes the kind of help that we can make. So this ties back to the CSS Youth Medical Mission in Vietnam. We have in CSS Youth a CSS parent. Her name is Cô Vân Anh. She is Beck Beek's mom, the kid who you saw Matthew was carrying before. She's a dentist, and she's part of a medical organization called the Sakya Care Foundation. That foundation travels regularly, almost every year, to countries like Vietnam, India, Bangladesh, all around the world, sometimes even to Africa, to provide medical, dental, and optical care for free to those who are in need of that kind of service, especially in impoverished countries and communities. They started out as wanting to provide medical care for Buddhist nuns and monks in temples who don't have the funds or don't have the resources to access medical care. But after they went on a couple missions, they realized that the surrounding community that the temple is in really needs their help as well, and so they expanded their medical treatment to include that community as well. And so this upcoming June, around 10 or so of us older youth, 17 years and older, up, we will be joining the Sakya Care Foundation on going on their medical mission as volunteers, general volunteers. So a little bit more about the Sakya Care Foundation. Like I mentioned before, they started out as wanting to provide medical care to Buddhist nuns and monks, but then they also expanded. So this is their mission statement as quoted from their website. The Sakya Care Foundation is dedicated to delivering a variety of humanitarian medical services, including dental and optical care, to those in need. Our target patients will range from spiritual leaders, the uninsured, and the low-income and impoverished communities, regardless of ethnicity and religious background. So these are a couple pictures from their 2016 mission to India. You can see that there's a really, really long line. People line up. This isn't specific to third world countries, but even in the US, even in impoverished countries, we have a lot of people who come and wait in line from maybe 4 in the morning all the way to maybe 9 o'clock when the doors open. So this is just another photo of Govanan doing medical care and dental treatment for those in India. So even throughout the night, sometimes medical team will work from 6 a.m. all the way to maybe midnight, even past that. They also do a lot of optical care, so they can make a pair of glasses for someone who needs it right on the spot for fairly low cost. And so this is the flyer, kind of encouraging people to volunteer as well as donate to the Sakya Care Foundation for this upcoming trip in Vietnam. I don't think you guys can read it from the back, but it says you can give a gift of a smile. So for those of us who just had, let's see, from New Year's, right? For $10, you can give someone the medical treatment that they need, the dental treatment that they need for free, for just $10. For $15, you can give someone the medications that they need, the vitamin supplements for malnourished. And then you can also give the gift of sight. So this is the part that really caught me. So for $25, you can help someone be able to see clearly by making a pair of glasses for them. Not just reading glasses, but for nearsighted, for farsighted people, really be able to help them for such a low cost. Can you go back? Sorry. So the estimated number of people that Sakya is basically estimating to serve is around 3,000 people, and then 200 nuns or monks. And for that number of people, they proposed a budget around $50,000, which sounds like a lot, but if you think about what I said before about the $10, the $15, the $25, being able to have such a small donation and completely change someone's life, it actually has a huge impact. And so for some of you guys who have that kind of New Year's money, if you guys want to make a donation today, you guys can, I really encourage you guys to do so. So this, going back to the medical mission dates, can you go back all the way to like the dates? Right. So the medical mission is something that the CSS Youth general volunteers will be going on to help. But prior to that, around 2 or 3 days before that, we will be having our own CSS Youth activities with regard to the CSS Youth Help Initiative. A lot of the places that we donated money to, we will be going to visit. In particular, we will be visiting a children's cancer hospital, which, can you go back to that picture? The Children's Cancer Hospital that we're going to be visiting, we will donate to, and we will go there and help volunteer. We will also help serve food in the soup kitchens that we donated to. And this is going to be a really big and heartbreaking kind of event for us. This is something that we definitely feel yeah, this is something that I don't really know how to put into words beyond the fact that when we go there and we experience that ourselves, we will truly feel appreciative of what we have here in our own current day lives. So you can see that a lot of the children don't have the proper medical treatment. They are stuck all in one bed. Some of them even have to sleep underneath the bed of someone else. You can see that the soup kitchens are filled. Usually they serve around 300 to 500 people per day. And for the amount of money that we donated, for example, if you donate $100, each meal is around $1. So you make sure that basically with the donation that we made of $200, you ensure that 200 people will not go hungry for that day. So tying it back to this Vietnam medical mission and what we plan to do. A lot of the expenses that come with the medical mission, medicine, the cost of treatment, the cost of labor, as well as not transportation, but a lot of the medical treatment that comes with that, as well as the food that we're going to donate, the toys that we're going to buy for the youth in the Children's Hospital, and specifically, they asked us for U.S.-made stuffed animals because the quality of the U.S. stuffed animals are much better than Vietnam, and so they specifically asked, we have a stuffed animal drive right now. If you have any lightly used stuffed animals that you'd like to donate for us to bring to that Children's Hospital for them to have, I think that would help them get through the pain that they're going through, or comfort them when they're feeling scared or crying. So you can help out by donating your lightly used stuffed animals to that. But the thing that we definitely need more help on is donations to the Vietnam Medical Mission itself. The amount of people that we're expecting to serve is really, really high, and there's no telling what kinds of expenses that will arise from just someone who may really, really need that particular treatment. So if you can, if you agree with us in the way that we feel, the rest of the youth feel about helping others, opening up other people's hearts, and doing compassionate acts, we really ask for your support, your financial support, as well as your prayers and moral support for us to go on this medical mission and help out the people who really need it. So if you feel that you can make a donation, please make out your check, or you can make a donation in cash. You can make out your check to the CSSU Youth with the Vietnam Medical Mission in the memo line. That's something that will definitely make a huge impact. You guys saw before the amount of money that can definitely change someone's life. And so a donation of $10, $15, $25, $100 can really go a long way. So. Yeah. So a lot of the, so all the donations that you make